bodies of light, the seekers and sojourners of truth, the 144th of the chosen few. You know who you are. I greet you in the that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I am celestial earth in this divine energy essence of it all, live in life, yes, from nowhere other than 5D, the fifth dimension, the place to be. For those who know it is a place to be, it may not be easy, but it's the place to be, right? So always get coming to bring you the news to infuse, if you so choose to infuse with that light on the light grid. For those of us who are lightly fried on the grid. So, oh, happy everything, whatever day this is for you. There's a lot of closings. This is what I feel like this title is saying to me. There's a lot of closings. So something is opening. There is an opening, there is a beginning, but this is not the new year, right? That's one thing this is not. There's some new things unfolding. We are in the beginning of the respiriting season. This is not the end of a year and the beginning of the next year. You know, spring is when we spring forward into the new year. Naturally, nature wise, cosmically, through space and time, just through the core four foundations of this earth that it is set, right? Not because I'm trying to make something up out the side of my neck, but because this is the core foundation that is set. These are the four corners of the earth. So, with that saying, for those of you who are in 5D, you already know this is not the end. So the year that we're in, for those of you who have the calendars, which I'm gonna kind of, base this off of with what I share with you about the past couple days, I have been missing in action. So the new moon, speaking on the new moon, the portal yesterday was also a 1-1 portal. Happy 1-1 portal. Happy vortex opening on the 1-1 portal because it's gonna be open till 1-0, the 1-1 to the 1-0. Right. So with that, we're going to get into also the new moon that we had on the 30th. On our calendar, it's the 10th. So I'm going to speak a little on that, but not but, and to share just the energies that we're in, right? So I'm going with this view because this is what I got. The winds have been howling. I feel like even this says something in itself. It sets the tone. The trees have been whistling. You could hear it coming around the side of the building, just whistling and hooting. But the ancestors, that's all I kept hearing this morning. The ancestors are in the wind, definitely, especially up here. And there's some gloom, but this is why I said a lot of things are closing. When things are closing, this is what it feels like. But it's good to know what's coming around the corner. This month of Capricorn or month of Set, as it's noted here on the calendar, is a month that is going to bring us to a lot of our accountability and our responsibility. And this is what we're being called into. So the endings, the closings, everything we've been through over the past maybe month or two, especially those of you who are transitioning, you know who I'm talking to. This may not be for everybody. Let it resonate with where it resonates. But for those who have been really been going through it, those of you who are even aligned in this soul tribe, whether you're aware of it or not, most of you have been feeling some stuff you're going through from especially November, throughout November into December, right? Which is our month, throughout the Sekhmet month into the Bastet month. And now we're into Set. And so Set is the part, it's all part of our consciousness. It's when we understand our consciousness, the ego in itself. We become Set, right? This is why we have to understand the Asar story. If we become that Set, because the Asar is our consciousness. Our Set is our subconscious. That's our feminine aspect. And then, of course, Heru would be the superconscious that comes into life to help be rid of the Set, which is in our ego. We become Set through our Asar. All of it is our ego. So this is why sometimes I say I like that word, we set tripping. Because when you dismember your Asar, when you do not remember who you are and the wisdom that you come from, you start Set tripping, right? You let Set sit on your throne of the ego, right? And that's where Set comes into play. That's just to give a little bit, about that understanding with Set in the mix and what happens with Set. Because all Set does is bring to you, this is what Capricorn is about, the principalities of bringing to you responsibilities. What are you responsible for? What do you have any accountability? And these are the things that we have to be looking at as we transcend into the next timeline, shifting from one to the next. It's not an easy walk in the park. So we gotta know thyself. Ooh, that was a word. Know thyself was a lesson that came up, today. Just because you need to know who you are and how you're dealing, you need to know what you're about from what you're not about. Especially as you're shifting timelines, you're not where you used to be anymore. So there's going to be inconsistencies and incoherencies, especially as you're transitioning. It's just part of the process. However, we need to understand to quicken ourselves through the process, and time is of the essence, and we have to move with certain energetic waves that present themselves to us, right? Which is what I love about the cosmos and the energy waves that we're riding that help us understand ourselves, the numerology, the science in the essence of the universe and the atmosphere helps us to, know what's happening right here and now, and what people it's generally speaking to, right? And who does it tightly pertain to? It affects everybody differently, right? So with that said, I want us to understand let me see what we're going to go back to yesterday. So we're going to go into the day, it's the closing of Kwanzaa. It was also the last day of Kwanzaa, Imani, and which is faith. And then it was the vortex opening and the 1-1 portal. So since I don't do the new year, that's what I more look at, the 1-1 portal. This is a opening. This portal is an opening to the 1-0. So within these 9 days, what you choose to commit yourself to spiritually, solely, this is a time where you take to do some soul work to put in the true new beginning, the true first step of the one, in honoring what the one is, and unification, right? So bringing in unity, which is the first day of Kwanzaa, unity umoja. So bringing in that unity into whatever you are beginning, right? And this is all a part of the preparation mode. It's still not to get going on your new year, right? This is why people get the get going bug for a week or two and fall out, because this is not the season. This is hibernation. This is preparation. This is reflection time. It's a time to go in and reflect on what you've been doing for the past 9 months, in the year since the year began in spring. What have you been doing? Reflect on that. Have you been coherent in your coherent vibrations? Have you been exercising or expressing? We're in the fifth dimension. That's expression of creation in time. Have you been expressing yourself truthfully, authentically, in your authenticity, which is what this North Node in Aries was helping us to do. These cosmos, these energy bodies help us to be aligned with where we need to be aligned. It's kind of like it nudges us and it pulls us, if that makes sense. It's a wave. It's just like what a wave would do. If you stand in the ocean, it's going to push and pull. It's going to push and pull. So the energies are like that. The energies are push and pull, and it helps to get you. Some of us got to be pulled because we tugging our feet. We dragging our feet, and some of us got to be just pushed and nudged a little. And if you allow yourself to flow with the energies, it speaks to you and it gives you the answers that you need to get through these times, these current times, the currencies in time, right? Because we're all currency, we're all energy. How is your currency moving? How are you flowing? What are you tuned into? Right? And I'm seeing that personally, especially for those of you who know I'm here and what I've been going through, with the ancestral work that is still being done, finding the balance. Um, what I'm learning is we have to be mindful, responsible in the responsibility. This is how it's been showing up for me, and I'm going to tie in the nodes with that because it answered to me what we should be graduating from with the South nodes in Libra, which I've been speaking about. The balance, the we, Libra is about the we, the South node is our past, where we're coming from collectively, and this needs to be addressed. This needs to be some reflection, some renovations, some reinvestigations, like on where we have been and what we have been doing, not just in our individual lives, but in our multidimensional self, in our past lives, in the imprint of the people that have lived here throughout time and time again. We're here clearing up all that shit in the 5D and then some. So we're taking these opportunities to find these waves, these energy currencies to do the necessary work that needs to be done. So the things that are coming up right now are asking us, what can we be responsible for? This is a season that we're in, responsibility. So the last season is like, I hope you were being receptive. I hope you were listening and having true receptivity. Because this is now inviting us to look at our responsibility as we close out with these nodes, South Node closing out. What are we responsible with in the collective, in the we? Thank you, Spirit, bringing me right back to that. What were we responsible for in the we, meaning how you showed up, right? This is how I had to be responsible. Peace, love, and light, your highness. This is something that we have to look at and say, okay, if something is happening, where's my accountability? And I know I've been saying that, but on a whole nother level, like we have to raise the bar again. And when you truly hold yourself responsible, you have to hold yourself for how you are being and what you're allowing around you. We really got to nip things in the bud. We really got to set that boundary a certain way. Things that may seem little and minute to other people, especially in the 3D world, in the shadows of the 3D world, they may be looking and saying, well, that's minor. That's minor. Or that's like what I'm getting here a lot in Jamaica. I know nothing that. You know, they so quick to say, that's nothing. I know nothing that. And it's like, no, there is something. And we can't overlook that. That's one of the things I have to be breaking here in my ancestral work, because it's heavily bedded in the culture to quickly dismiss and say that that's not what it is, or to be something that you are not. Like that's so done so much in this culture. Saying one thing, but you don't really mean it. And what you don't mean is what you're saying. That's what's happening. And this is not good collectively for the throat chakra. So we have to honor, we have to respect what we know as truth and be in that authenticity and then true transparency of that truth without having to be showing it off in transparency, because some people use that too. They'll be saying, I'm being transparent, but they're showing off. Is the energy behind it. But that's okay. Energy will meet them right around the way. This is something we were just talking about today. Energy will catch you. It is okay. It's not for me, but it's for me to be responsible with me and how I deal with you and how I allow you to be in the vicinity, or how I do business with you. We got to stop doing things just because people feel comfortable or that's their truth. Look, that may be your truth, but I'm responsible for what I see and know. Right? So I say that to bring us into the responsibility. I know it may not sound like it, but this is what responsibility looks like. It matters what you allow people to do within your realms and how you're making deals with people, right? And I'm learning this just through an experience of this same bathroom issue, y'all. Just having people come in and work on the bathroom, and people are saying one thing and doing something else, and their work ethics out here suck. I must say that. It's especially in this realm, right? This is where you don't say what you mean. This is why I'm getting a lot of that right now, and it's like I said, embedded in the culture, in on so many different levels, in the most sneakiest alley cat way to the most professional, you know, CEO type way. It's all around the board. This is how they are conducting themselves. So I'm seeing a whole lot of falsities in these arrangements. So being responsible means seeing that and walking in that light, seeing that and admitting to that. And when you make decisions, be accountable. There you go. There's the accountability, not just seeing it, but be accountable in your actions. And it's not easy when you're, finding the balance with the collective and you want to be nice, because they don't know no better. They operating at out of their shadow realm in the 3D. and they don't know what you know, and they don't know how to know what you know. So we have to know ourselves, be true unto yourself, and in how we treat each other, especially as these times are turning. This is how I'm finding a balance. We got to look at it like it's television, y'all. Like, look at it like you watching them in TV. Have that outer body experience and stay in your 5D, cube, your 5D tubular or cubular, because it will press upon you, right? So the responsibility that we're being asked right now is to bring that Annie up some more. And so with this new moon in Capricorn, that was bringing in the Capricorn, bringing it in a little bit more into the Capricorn season. For those of us who are already having the 5D calendar, it's the 10th day in the Capricorn month, which means it's the first decan. That first decan was completed, and we're practically somewhere in the middle of this season of this month. And so that 10 is the 1010 portal, because it's the 10th day of our 10th month. Capricorn is the 10th month. It's the 10th month, cosmically speaking, it's the 10th month in the 5D calendar. So when you look at that, that's I want to say like a bridge for those who are bridging through, who are quantum leaping through. Because if you look at it, the closing of it is on the 30th, which I didn't mention, so I'm mentioning it now. There was in this receptivity month previously, there was a 15, 15, 15. Stick with me, y'all, if you can. There is a 15, and the 5 and 1 is 6, right? So we're going to do this from moon to moon. From the first moon, that was on the first day of December. We talk about how the month of December, the month that they call December, and it looks like it is 2 moons in 1 month. But not if you're going by the true month of the seasons, cosmically speaking, right? So the first moon in their month is on the first, right? 15 days after that, that's the first 15, is the full moon, exactly on the 15th, right? So that's the second 15. And then from there to the next new moon on the 30th is another 15 days, team, which 5 and 1 is 6. So we're seeing 6, 6, 6. That was how I got the receptivity I had been talking about in a previous video. I didn't break it down like that, but that was how I got that. So the 6 and the 6 and the 6 is showing receptive completion. So much receptivity, which is the feminine energy that needed to be had at that time. This is the energy we were working with, right? So that from the 1st to the 15th to the 30th was 15 days. So we saw that 3 times. So the last stretch of it was on the 30th. So there was something closing out there. This is why I said there's so many closings, but something's opening up. So there was that closing. And as that closed out on the 30th, what's happening on the 5D calendar is the 10th and the 1010 portal. So it shows for those of you who have been doing the work. This is who I'm speaking to. This is not for everybody. So to other people, this may sound crazy. This is for those who have been doing the work. If you have been working with yourselves, whether in one of my workshops or even just working on your own soul work, if you've been doing the work, you have been writing infused with those waves, the currencies of the 6, the receptive energy, right? And you've been doing your receptivity, your receptive activity. And at the close of it, at the 30th, that's the close of it. It's actually the end of a full cycle from new moon to new moon. That's one full cycle, right? So at the close of that, and you gather and you've worked with that receptivity, now however that has worked for you, you bridge, quantum leap, loop through somehow, push your timelines more into 5D, and you are in the 1010 portal. You kind of this is how you're portaling through our 1010 portal, right? Because this 1010 portal can't be experienced by those who only know the 3D calendar and don't know of this calendar. They won't experience it because it's about collective consciousness. So they're only going to experience 1010 on their 10th month and on their 10th day. So we can experience both because we're expanded from the 3D into 5D. For those who want to know, well, how come we can experience both? We're in expansion. 3D is still within 5D. We're still a part of 3D, but we're expanded when you expand into 5D. So 5D people who are on the 5D timeline can experience the collective consciousness of the 3D people on their 1010, and they can also experience the collective consciousness of the 5D people who are moving to that new timeline who do experience this particular 1010. Whether they're aware of this calendar or not, if they're functioning in any way close to this, they're more the ones that are experiencing this 1010 portal, right? We're welcome, light worker. That's what we doing. We work in the light. Let's work this light together. So those of you who have been doing the work have been portaling through the 1010 portal. This was on the 30th, on the new moon. This may be how you have experienced portaling through. And then coming into another collective day would be their first day, day one, which is their new year, but it's not our new year. However, it is a vortex. So those who may have experienced in quantum leap through that 1010 portal on the 30th of December, for everybody else on that 30th, will experience the 1-1 portal a little bit differently, right? Those who come through that in a certain way will be experiencing the portal. There's another portal. It's like, ooh, another portal. And this is the 1-1 that opens up the vortex from 1-1 to 1-0. So the way, this is what we're honoring again at the respiriting season. We're at the beginning. There's 3 months of respiriting. We just started on the winter solstice, the first day of Capricorn, the first day of the last season of the last 3 months of the year. This is the respite season. For these 3 months, we're not supposed to be getting so busy. We're supposed to be in that feminine energy, in that receptive energy, being in the darkness of the unknown and the darkness of the wisdom to gain wisdom through all of our experiences in order to move forward with the new year in spring that begins. The true new year is the first day on the spring equinox, right? So just reminding us of that, right? I need some light, if there can be a light found back there. I'm losing light. So reminding us of that, those are the days I wanted to really go back on and look at, because I haven't done a video. For those of you who know, I'm here. I've been going through the struggles here. So I kind of took a couple days off, but I wanted to get that information to you about the new moon. There's some more, even about that threshold number of 3 that I really want to share with you. But this is what I wanted to get in with the calendar. So those of you who have the calendar, look at your calendar year on set, and you'll see those days that I had been talking about with you. Light me. Right? What else is there? Those so look into those days, the receptivity and us moving into set, and what I explained to us about set and that responsibility, and that set is not a bad thing at all. Is that the rain coming? Here comes the rain again. Let me go under, because I'm getting the rain coming down now. So that set is, it's not all bad. It's responsibility for whatever has come up in our life. And so what I want us to look at, for those who have the calendar, take a look at the top part of the calendar for set. Let me just show this to y'all. This is the image, the set. So here it's an image, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with what is it? The hieroglyphics, or someone maybe can translate this, even if you've never seen this before. So look and see what it means to you. But what comes up for me is the that I wanted to share with you. Set on one side, Heru is on the other. It's appearing to be a balance, and it has to do with what they're holding. The instruments they're holding also show masculine, feminine energy, or I want to say receptive and creative activity. And then you see at the top, it brings in, there's this difference at the far end, that as it get closer, it brings into a balance of the same symbols till it comes through the symbol of life, the symbol of knowledge, that trinity, the triangle, into the balance, all up, risen on the scepter there of the scarab. And you see the hand, the praising hands that are really called Ka, Ka, the praise and praising to the sun type hands, praise to the Ra, the Ka. And you see that with the scarab, which forms, which highlights transformation. So it's the balance that comes to that, that brings forth from the set. Why I'm saying all of that is, although this is, I know they're saying like what this got to do with the stars, but it got a lot to do with the stars, because that set energy is the month, is the season that we're in, because there are principles of set that we are to understand, which is to bring, even though people think it's the devil or it's bad, that's not what it is about. It's to bring up, we're our own devils. So it's to bring up the ugly in us. It's to bring us back into accountability. It's bringing you your shadows. Basically, that's what Set represents. He's bringing you your shadows that you, by the way, have opened up, have allowed through your unhealed wounds, all of that, which is, again, another topic I want to get into, but not right now because I want to keep the focus on, these energy waves we've been talking about, and how we can write these energies waves into 5D. So how it benefits us, I showed you the portals that we could be utilizing to transit through, to portal through, to push our own timelines, to use all of this cosmic energy to portal through into the next timeline of what we are to be about. So set is this mentality. I want us to understand these are not just um, Egyptian god stories, or even as we know it to be Kemetic in truth. It's not just stories. These are principalities of the times, of the space and time, and it's going to help catapult us back forward into the future advancement of our highly evolved, you know, ancient technology soul selves. Like we have this inside of us and we're unlocking it. So, yes, reset. See, even how you broke those words up. Thank you. Reset. Set again, right? Look at it again. Respect is look at it again. Reset yourselves. This is a reset time. The season of set. Thank you so much for that. The season of set is the resetting time. Reflect. Look at your shadows. Re-look at it. Respect. Respect and respect it. Right? So that set energy is, it's just another part of you. These are principalities that are used to describe you. Every bit of these gods that you hear them talk about are different aspects and energies of different aspects in the way we retrieve those energies through our soul. This is all they are, right? I shouldn't say all. This is what they are and more. Highlight to us as it did from the winter solstice, and that is when you are supposed to die in your ego. That is when the sun dies. So your personhood or your personality, your personal will should be put down at that time. Be still for 3 days as the sun is still, then begins moving forward. It's how you are supposed to be moving through your soul consciousness. So before your ego starts moving again, there's a respiriting that is happening within the three, right? So to a technical degree, it's happening literally 3 days, 3 of our days as it happens out there, how we perceive what's happening out there with the sun in relation to us. We experience it in literally 3 days. It is something that also happens deeper metaphysically for 3 months, right? That's the 3 months that we're in. See, this is a threshold. This is why I wanted to talk about the threshold of three. This is a threshold that we're crossing. So that three is always representing creative completion as a threshold to do what? To cross over, to transit, to transition, right? So this three that we're getting for 3 days, expanded version, metaphysically, we get it for 3 months. So this is only the beginning. And this, I'm hearing that song in my head. That's why I had to laugh. I can't even finish talking. I just kept hearing, "We've only just begun." It's the beginning. We just begun, and it's still playing in the background of my head. But it's only the beginning. So it can be looked at New Year's as they say it, but we know it's not the real New Year. It is the beginning of the next season. The first of the 3 months of respiriting. 10, 11, 12 is the 1, 2, 3. The 10th, 11th, and 12th month is the 1, 2, 3, 3 months of the last season, right? Faithfully, I didn't confuse you there, but it's the beginning of the beginning. So this month is the beginning of these first 3 months. So in so many ways, you can look at the beginning. In so many ways, there are so many closings. As I said earlier, there are a lot of closing outs that are happening. That last season closed out. This last year for everyone else in the world has closed out. For us, the working year, the first 9 months have been over, are done with, and we're in the 10th month, which is the first month of reflection. So it's the closing out of something and it's the beginning, right? This is really, I'm getting the image of really the serpent that eating its tail. At that point, you're really at that point where it's the end and the beginning. You're eating the end because there's a new beginning, right? So this is how we are to look at our beginnings. I'm speaking directly to our 5D people, the 144, chosen of the chosen of the chosen few, to know that this is not the end. Do not go out with that false collective energy celebrating in that way, in that manner. And I'm not here to tell people how to do, how to live, how to be. I'm saying what to align ourselves with in truth. We know that in truth, that is not the end of the complete year, right? Cosmically speaking, as it connects to the earth and how we exist on the earth. So we have to be true keepers of time in order to align our time log with the time log of the divine. This is what we're doing. We're shifting, we're reconnecting, we're remembering, and we're realigning. So get into your new beginnings, but know that it's just the beginning of another season. The year has not ended, right? And it's no big deal. It's just how you look at things. It's about coming out of the matrix of those falsities and the way they hold things in falsity. It's nothing wrong with celebrating something new. You could wake up every day and celebrate a new day, a new year. You could wake up every day and say Happy New Year. There's nothing wrong with that, but we do have to break ourselves out of the spells of the matrix. And if we keep doing the same thing with them all the time, you're not really breaking out. You're not really making the changes, the Uranus changes that we need to make, right? Uranus, who rules Aquarius, which is the season and the age that we're in, right? The new age that we're in. So this is forward movement, right? So we have to be about times. We got to utilize this energy wave, the transition, the threshold that we're crossing through, the reset, the raw set. So get into your set. We got 20, 10 days have passed. We got 20 more decades. So even after the 10th day of Set or Capricorn, right after that you begin, and the new year begins within in the beginning of that second decade. So that's the beginning of a new level of this month, if you want to look at it like that. There's so many ways that you can look at a beginning. Just I simply say time. Speaking of time, the time calendars. I have not checked the email in about a week. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. So my apologies if I haven't gotten to anybody. I'm going to look at them as soon as possible. And anything, you can go to divineenergystudio@gmail.com for the calendar if you're still looking for this 5D calendar. We have 3 more months of this calendar. And even if you get it at the end, you can utilize it to reflect and review how you have been moving through this year, which is it was the 8th universal year. And they have just entered into the 9 universal year for 2025. Is now their 9 universal year. And we're closing ours out. So this is a bridge even for both of us in that way. At this point, both 3D and 5D are at a 9 universal year until we move forward for our new year and we go into 2017. And that changes our universal year number. But that's another topic for another day, right? Um, oh, the message came back. I thought you had something. Either way, you can always email me for that. I want to thank all of you who have still been supporting, who have sent any donations. I have to check on that too. So apologies if you have, if I haven't responded to that. Thank you for continuing to send. You can always still send. Email me and I will give you the Zelle information, or it may be in one of the descriptions. It's my email. So divineenergystudio@gmail.com. If you want to continue as we move forward to having the retreat for next year, we're still working on it. And the crickets are coming alive right now. I'm just now hearing them. So, with that, thank you for those of you who came through, who shared your light, your love, your truth, your authenticity, and who's ready to transit into 5D a little bit more, a little bit deeper. Is there anything else? I think that's all. Love, love always. Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one. And with that said, peace, love, and light to you all. Ashe.